Hey, profs. Welcome on in. My name's Rob Lightfoot, proud two-time alum of Rick Edelman College of Communication, class of 2000-2001. This is Beyond the Brown and Gold.
I'm Jessica Kennedy. I'm the co-host here, also a two-time proud Rowan alum, class of 2008 from the Rick Edelman College of Communication and Creative Arts, and 2015 from the College of Education. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM presents Beyond the Brown and Gold, a show that highlights the lives and memories of Glassboro State and Rowan University alumni. Now, here are your hosts, Rob Lightfoot and Jessica Kennedy.
Jess, we have another communication major.
I know, we're not doing it on purpose.
We're not, but we just like them the most.
And because really not all of our communications majors have ended up in the communications field.
Yeah.
For instance, Janine, our guest today, guidance counselor, so wound up in education.
Yeah, but found her way, she started that path of communication, but like everything else, life takes you different spots, and she found her way into schools.
I know. I love it. I mean, I feel similar to her because I was in communications, right? I didn't really pursue that professionally, but I did study that and then wound up pursuing education as well. So I think maybe, we all find our way back to education at least a little bit.
And she counseled us.
She
on
did.
some of our personal problems. No, we should. That was a cool tease, but I was trying to get people to listen. But
yeah.
I don't think you need that tease. It'll be good to listen anyway. So check it out.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Oh, absolutely.
We're doing a night interview because you work in education and you're very much so needed in the day.
Absolutely.
Where do you live now? Where are you living?
I'm in Mays Landing, New Jersey. That's about 15 minutes outside of Atlantic City.
And did you grow up in Mays Landing or?
No, I actually grew up in Burlington Township, New Jersey.
How did you get here?
I applied to various different colleges during my senior year, and Rowan had one of the best communications programs around. So I wanted to stay in-state, but at the same time, close to home.
We love a communications major on this show.
We pick mostly communication majors.
I don't know.
Awesome.
It's not on purpose, but I think, so many are not really working in communications technically for their current career.
It's changed.
I think it's a really versatile degree.
Yeah.
If I could just put a little plug in there for that.
So what drew you to communication?
I always wanted to be an on-air personality, on-air anchor person, or even a meteorologist. Those were some of my goals, and I just love that field. And I said, you know what, this is what I wanted to do. So, when I was in high school, I used to interview a lot of my classmates. I used to interview some of the athletes that, I was going against, in various different sports. And they were like, you know what, you should definitely do that. I said, exactly. So
right with the microphone in front of her. Yes, I should.
I'm curious, do you have any, growing up, did you do anything on tape that you still have, maybe you can listen to these? I mean, obviously, there's no tape recorders these days, obviously. I'm dating myself.
I do have some. You can see some of the old VHS tapes. So I'm at Crystal Cave, I'm at Disney, and I'm just going to town.
That's great.
That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? This is my calling. I'm going to be an on-air personality. And I didn't. Things changed, but I still do things till this day that still has that communication realm around it. So
and so much need for the content these days, especially in that space.
Oh, absolutely.
So you come to Rowan University. What do you get involved with right away? Like, do you jump right in, or do you let yourself get familiar with the university for a little bit?
Well, I started in the EOF MAP program.
Okay,
it was a 6-week summer program that I started, and the EOF MAP program, that program was designed for students that are at an academic or financial disadvantage. So I was on the academic disadvantage side because at that time, SATs weighed a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely had the academic record, but when it came to testing, I did not do well. But Rowan gave me that opportunity. They saw, like, wow, she's a well-rounded student. She's president of her class. She's active. She's definitely going to be an asset. But this is what she has to go through. So I did go through the 6-week summer program, met fabulous students here at Rowan University, one being Derek. We went through the program together. And, from there, we were able to take some summer classes. And then right from there, I joined student council because we actually had a mini election in the summertime.
Okay.
And of course, later on, I joined a sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Oh, another. She's not the first AKA we've interviewed.
Oh, we represent. We represent here. Yes.
Yeah.
I was also president of the NAACP, and I was also part of the Black Culture League. I was supposed to do soccer. when I came here. But I had a blood infection in my shin splints,
Oh, no.
and I ended up not playing soccer, but I did track and field. So I did
Okay.
track and field all 4 years. I was a high jumper.
You
That's
had like a lot going on, I feel like.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Did you know, like, as soon as you came that you wanted to get involved in all those things? Or
Absolutely.
what was your EOF map? What did that look like? Because I think,
Ooh.
yeah, I mean,
I'm sure you heard stories. It was all, it taught me discipline.
Yeah.
But I was already a disciplined student growing up. My parents made sure, look, before you could play, before you do, homework comes first. I was an athlete, but you're a student athlete. You're a student first. So, my academics were always a priority. So I came in to Rowan knowing that my academics were first and foremost. So, and being involved, I loved being involved. Being class president and just, my class was 128 from Burlington Township. So it wasn't that
That's
many.
pretty small, yeah.
It's very small, but we were so close.
Yeah.
We were so close. It's larger classes now, but I was so involved in high school, and I still kept it up in college as well.
And you were class president. You
Yes, I
just kind
was.
of talked over that, but I was like, class president. That's a big deal.
I was class president. Yeah.
That's really big deal.
So now,
all 4 years.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That seems like a lot.
I'm sorry.
You had an actual like official presidency.
yeah, she,
I did. I loved my class. I loved my class.
So your time here, any professor on campus that really kind of inspired you? What was your favorite while you were doing your studies?
I can say for me, William H. Myers, who was head of the EOF MAP program, and Olivita Williams, definitely, they were incredible to, my 4-year journey here at Rowan University. And of course, I had my professors, Makamis Ikpa, part of the communications, and Ned Eckert. They were phenomenal. So, but William H. Myers, I'll tell you, he pushed us. He pushed us, and like I said, he was the very first person I met during the EOF program, and he just made sure we were on the right path all 4 years. So I owe a lot to him. He's deeply missed. Deeply missed.
He's like,
A lot of people mention him.
yeah, I mean, I did not have the pleasure of meeting Dr. Myers, but so influential in so many of our students'
Oh,
lives.
absolutely.
Truly incredible, a lasting
And
impact.
a trailblazer.
Yeah.
A trailblazer. Him and Olivita Williams. Anita Jackson is another one that was part of the EOF MAP program.
So talk to us about that balance of your extracurricular activities and your studies, especially from the perspective of what you do now. Which should we not bury the lead on what she does now?
I know she's. Kind
I know we're going to get there, but
I know.
Just say what it is.
She's a guidance counselor.
Okay,
She's
there it is.
shaping and young minds, and I
Yes.
have so many questions about that aspect. I'm
Yeah.
just really pumped to get to that
Yeah.
part.
Okay, all right.
All right. Okay. Yeah. But from that perspective now, talk to us about how do you balance.
You chose your schedule. So I was smart enough to say, I'm a morning person. I'm not a night person. I wanted to get everything out the way. And I knew when it came to clubs and activities, it would be in the evening. So I always remembered that balance there. And also, again, being an athlete, track and field. So I knew that we had to be sometimes out on the field by 5 or at the time that we were traveling. So it was traveling, coming back, involving myself with my sorority activities, again, being president of NAACP. It wasn't overwhelming. I don't know, like being younger, just being more free. I was really able to balance. I had a great executive board for all of my activities that I was a part of. So it worked out.
It sounds like you must have had that good structure growing up too, because
I always did. I
Yeah.
always did. My mom was a social worker. My father worked at Princeton University. So, it was that schedule that, I had to get used to from both of them and just doing things on my own. So,
I think that's an important life skill that brought you right through college.
Yeah.
Because sometimes adjusting to all of that, diversity and schedule and responsibilities, that could be really
Challenging.
overwhelming.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Very overwhelming.
But especially like people don't really realize the student athlete side. These students are traveling, like you were mentioning, and they're
Right.
getting back late and having to really prioritize their schedule and kind of manage things a little
Right.
bit differently than your normal student who's just managing their
Right.
their daily.
I don't remember it being so overwhelming, though.
Yeah.
I just knew that I just had to prioritize my academics first, no matter what, whether if I was on the bus traveling. And Coach Fritz at the time, great guy, he made sure that we got everything done first as far as our academics. And that was number one.
And in the pre-interview, can I say this when she was talking?
Yeah.
I didn't know we offered meteorology here.
And I didn't know that either.
Yes.
That was a fun fact that I didn't know because I'm like, all right, we even had that.
Was that like
program
a major?
No, it wasn't it was a
Just a
class.
class.
It was a
Okay.
class.
I was like thinking you major.
And would they have like a giant
meteorology?
green screen with the practice? Like, what do they
Those
do?
are hard to
Yeah.
do.
It was
Right?
it was a hard class. I think I may have gotten a B. I have to look on my transcript.
Oh.
But
That's a really good grade.
it was a great class to take because I wanted to be communications.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the AccuWeather for today. So,
So you graduate from Rowan.
I
and
graduated.
What's next?
well, I was homecoming queen in 2000.
All right.
Which was
Put
a
that
great.
out there.
You got to put that.
Put that out there.
But yes, I graduated in 2001 and with a communications degree. And my first job, I worked for United Paramount Network, which is under Viacom. So
That's a great media company to come right out and go into a media company. How'd you find that?
Well, Eleanor Jean Henley was speaking at one of my AKA events.
Okay.
It was a breakfast, and I went up to her, and I'm like, I adore you. She is an educational reporter, and I always watched her. She was just so elegant and graceful, and I said, I want to work for, I want to work for your television station. Is there anything? And so she gave me several cards. She gave me NJN, New Jersey Network, which I did an internship in, when I was here at Rowan. And then she said, here's a card to Pat Byrne. She actually is the traffic coordinator at CBS, well, UPN at the time. The rest is history. I sent out my resume and I got hired. It was like I graduated May 11th and I started working like May 13th right away.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Our
a
career office
success
loves you.
story.
Yeah, I was gonna
in
say, our career
itself.
office
And
loves
I
that.
remember walking in and we're going over and she was like, and me not having a concept, she's like, the salary is $20,000 a year. I'm like, oh my God.
I made it. I finally
made it. So that was my first job coming right out of college. And I did that for about 4 years. And then I ended up working for Greer Lang Talent Agency as Director of New Talent Development.
And then you did sneak peek tell us a little bit of the talent you scouted for the various shows. Tell us, because that's pretty interesting.
Right. So working at UPN, they knew that I wanted to be an on-air personality. And so I definitely built relationships with people that were, because Viacom, UPN worked with CBS as our sister station. I would go over there, speak to Yuki Washington, speak to some of the anchors. And we had a gentleman by the name of Ralph Fox. And he did, it was like a teen show on the weekends. And he actually had me come aboard and actually interview some people. I think it was like Pat Croce I did an interview with.
Wow.
I did an interview with Eve. She actually came to town, a lot of the Philadelphia talent. So it was a good experience to have my interviewing skills. Later on, they said, well, UPN, there's a new show that's going to come on that you may be interested in. It's called America's Next Top Model. Would you help us look for the talent, the models? And I'm like, this is probably going to bomb this show.
Not with Tyra in
Not
charge.
with Tyra. So I did have the opportunity to meet her when she did come to Philadelphia. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And I actually worked on America's Next Top Model first, second, and third season. From that, I started to see some of the talent and the agency that they were coming from, which was Greer Lang Talent Agency. And at that time, they were looking for a person to look for their talent, new talent development. So I went for the job, got hired right away because I knew what they wanted. I knew what they were looking for. And I was on the other side. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to get in front of the camera. So I ended up on the other side, but I ended up loving that even more because of the relationships that I was building with a lot of the talent. So I was working with models, I was working with actors. I worked, in addition to America's Next Top Model, I did casting for Sex and the City.
Do you have to cast a lot of boyfriends for that one?
No.
There's always a new boyfriend every episode for each of the characters.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of A-roll, but a lot of B-roll actors and
Yeah.
a lot of extras. I did a lot of modeling shows and fashion shows. It was a great experience. And just to see how that world worked as an agent was great. I worked with Mike Lemon Casson, Diane Harry, Philadelphia casting. So to work hand in hand, to be on the other side was rewarding.
Yeah, so how did you go from talent scouting to wanting to be on air to then pursuing a master's in education?
Degree, right? The master's degree always sat in the back of my head from William H. Myers. He always said, you need to get that master's degree. I don't care what it's in, you're going to get that master's degree. I did not, at that point in time, I wanted to change my career. I didn't know what it was. And
Why was that? Why'd you want to change?
it was changing. The industry was changing. I was traveling a lot, and I just didn't have that urge anymore. I said, you know what, I don't know. It wasn't there. And I saw myself actually speaking with a lot of the talent outside of their role, like their personal issues. A lot of them saying, you know, I'm struggling, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. And they were really spilling their guts out to me, and I was their soundboard.
Right.
And I'm like,
I'm counseling. Yeah.
You know? So I did a self-assessment test.
Wow.
I did a self-assessment test because I'm like, okay, at that point I was like 24, 25, and I did a self-assessment test to try to figure out, what am I going to do? I was lost. And then it ended up in that whole social work education. I'm like, oh my God, my parents are in that field. So,
Like, how did this happen?
how did it happen? A friend of mine, she was a graduate of Rowan University. She said, Janine, you should go into the counseling educational settings program. I said, well, I'm not a teacher. I'm not a certified teacher. But at the time, you don't need to be a certified teacher to be a guidance counselor.
Is that changed now? Do you need
you don't need to be certified.
Okay.
So I still wanted that experience. I still wanted that classroom experience. So I started teaching communications at a Catholic school because you don't need to be a certified teacher. I started teaching at Camden Catholic High School, in which I taught there for 3 years, communications, mass media. And then from there, once I graduated, when I was in the program, I did a mass mailing once again, and I ended up at Oakcrest High School, where they saw my resume and they were impressed.
And you're still at Oakcrest High School,
I've been here,
right?
Yep, 16 years.
16 years. It's kind of wild to think. I was thinking about this at home while I was thinking about our interview, that 16 years.
Right.
Literally, you've been doing it as long as some of them took to get to high school. So
Right.
you've had a good amount of experience with high school students. And
Right.
what are some of the biggest challenges you see current students facing that maybe differed that when you started in the industry 16 years ago? Is it still pretty much the same kind of things, or have some things intensified for
As
students?
far as education?
Yeah, as far as the students that you're seeing in your counseling.
Oh, it's us and parents. We're against that social media platform with students. It's killing us, especially in the educational system, because kids have changed so much because of things that they've seen on social media. I can say when I started in 2007 versus now, it's a different group of students, a different type. I wouldn't say it's scary, but it's knowing that their voice of reason is, you know, something that they see on this little electronic device.
Right.
Or something that they're trying to prove on this little electronic device. It's scary.
Yeah.
It really,
and they are all carrying it with them.
24/7.
Right. When I was in high school, I had to flip my phone.
We didn't even have phones, girl. I didn't even have a phone in high
I'm
school.
with you, Janine. I didn't have one either.
I had a beeper.
Anybody text you 911, like call me.
Yeah.
143, right? That was I love you.
17 star 3.
I didn't get that much.
No.
But nobody 143. Do you, Rob? I'm so sorry.
No, I know. No, still these days.
But it's definitely has changed. It's been rewarding because it tests me as a person, it tests me as a parent. You know, I came in there not even being a mother. Now I'm a mother of 3. So it's like, wow, like you have to really step back and really see everything and look at things from a parent's perspective, which I didn't before.
Right.
So it's like, oh my goodness, you know, but you're the counselor, you're the mother, you're the soundboard, you're their best friend. I mean, you're everything. You wear so many hats in that position. And sometimes it's hard because you bring some of that home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to be able to separate that, but it's sometimes hard because you bring it.
It's hard. It's so hard. And
you're going home to some teenagers, too.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're probably
Right.
thinking all the things that you've talked about with some of your students in the day. Is that something that my student might be?
Right. And I have a freshman.
Yeah.
My stepdaughter, she's at the University of Delaware.
Okay.
So college student, 13-year-old, 6-year-old. So I'm getting them.
Yeah, you got a little bit of everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it is hard not bringing home. And my husband and I, we do a lot in the community. So to kind of separate that, it's difficult.
Is he in higher education too, or no?
He's higher education. He works at the University of Delaware.
Okay.
Yeah, he's assistant director of admissions there.
All right.
Yep.
We love an assistant director of anything.
Yeah.
At a university.
So with these challenges that you're dealing with, how are you sharpening that knife on a regular basis to kind of keep yourself sharp?
Prayer.
Yeah.
Prayer. And that's something, oh my goodness, please forgive me. John Howard, please forgive me. I was part of the Rowan University Inspirational Gospel Choir.
Okay, now
so
we're...
my faith kept me grounded too.
Yeah.
Come on
My
now.
faith, yes. So I got to add that, and that keeps me grounded today with a lot of things. So that, and still trying to, separate, okay, Janine, leave it at school. You'll be all right. But it's really, really hard. So just kind of that time that you have with your children, you kind of separate that. But again, your advisor, various different activities at school as well, in addition to being a guidance counselor.
Yeah, what are you advising?
I'm advising the Multicultural Interest Club.
Okay.
I'm advisor of the Freshman Transition Program, and I'm advisor of STAR, Students Talking About Racism,
Wow.
which is a new program that they started this
Okay.
year. So,
You got your hands full. They're lucky to have you over there.
but again, hands full in college, hands full in high
Yeah,
school.
you
It's
have
just
like you
something-
just can do it. Like some people are just meant to handle a heavy and diverse workload, and you're one of those people.
Yeah, I try.
So talk to us about the STAR program. Is Oakcrest, I'm not familiar with it, is it a diverse community that school that you're working in?
Yes, is diverse, and we're a district, so we have 3 different high schools: Oakcrest High School, Absegami High School, and Cedar Creek High School. So this program actually started at Cedar Creek High School, and it happened during the time with George Floyd, Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
So a lot of students, they needed a voice. They needed to speak what was on their mind. And at the time when all this happened, it was during the pandemic. So a lot of things started to build up with a lot of students. So we were like, oh my goodness, thank God that we were on lockdown at the time, because who knows, what could have flared up during the time if, we weren't in high school. But it gives an opportunity and a chance for students to talk about, some of their feelings, talk about the unknown, talk about, okay, this is what I'm, is built up inside of me, because there's a lot of anger, and racism exists in all different levels. So they're curious, and, some of them say, my teacher said this, or another student said this. What do I do? What do I say? So we try to, handle it the best way that we can as educators. We don't want to put anybody out on the spot, but, we do, as educators, need sensitivity training with a lot of areas. And
As much as the kids need to know these things, it's kind of like the people that are modeling all the behaviors that they see all
Right.
day. That's, I think that's so important. I always think about that, like when there's incidents on campus here, and
Right.
it's like we can do our best with the students, and we can try to help them understand what's right and wrong and
Right.
true. But these people are coming from all different areas. What have they learned?
Exactly.
What have they learned
And
at
that they're
their
bringing,
homes
yeah.
for 18 years that they then brought to this campus?
Right. And a lot of students have been sheltered, and then, when they turn on the TV, they witnessed a modern day lynching.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what do we say? What do we do? This year we have an African American Studies class that we're offering in our district. So it does open the eyes to a lot of students on the history.
Because that's not a common high school kind of course that you can take.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And it's a history that's not even taught. It's
Right.
that you have that little small section of slavery that's always taught during Black History
Yeah.
Month. And
Right.
it's not really, they don't go in depth of us being, when I say us, African Americans being kings and queens coming from Africa. They don't know the history, the rich history behind it, or even as much history as even the civil rights era. So there's so much that they're learning in this one course. And again, in the STAR program, many of those topics that's being taught, they do bring it to the table and adjust it with what they see on TV, what they hear from their friends. So
How difficult is it to get a new class like that in the curriculum?
it's not difficult at
No.
all, because these
You
kids
would think it is based on...
right, because
Right.
a lot of these kids, when they wanted to know their history, they joined my Multicultural Interest Club. I wouldn't say the STAR because we just started it, but they joined the Multicultural.
like an extracurricular, but
Right,
not
to
a core
know
curriculum
about
piece.
the history. And with my Multicultural Interest Club, that's where we had like the Black History Month program, and we did highlight a lot of the the activists, a lot of the educators, a lot of the trailblazers in African American history. So they learned a lot just from the club, but now they get to know every day. The classes every day, they get to know the history every day, rather than maybe once a week or once a month.
So we have a counselor, and I think we have to take advantage of this, Jess.
Okay.
Not for like personal sessions. We're going to air that. 'cause
People
don't have
pay
time
Janine for that later.
Yeah, people don't have problems. Those are billable hours. We'll do that.
Okay.
What's some good advice if for students that are listening out there? What's maybe one or two good pieces of advice you can suggest? Let's do both, right? Let's do high school and let's do college that you can give to students who are listening.
For high school, take advantage of every opportunity you can. If you have a counselor or if you have just someone trying to help you figure out what you want to do, your next step, definitely be an open ear, have open eyes, take advantage of every opportunity. For me, I didn't go to my guidance counselor in high school.
Neither did I.
I really can't remember. But there's so many different programs and so many different resources nowadays. I remember I used to get a big book of scholarships. Apply to scholarships, people.
I remember that. Yeah, I
remember the big book?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
because nobody applies. So, little known secret, people do not apply for scholarships.
No, we've had so many students. There's been money. It's free money, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
So when you're in high school, definitely, take advantage of those resources when it comes to scholarships. Take advantage of open houses. Take advantages of any type of program. I know that Stockton University has a program for, let's say, a minority and Latina students. Even the EOF program, the opportunities that I had, I wouldn't be at Rowan University, or I wouldn't have gone to Rowan if it wasn't through programs like that. So if you see certain programs that is going to help you, take advantage of it. Ask various different educators, what do I need to do? If you don't go to your guidance counselor, there's other people out there that, that can help you along the way. But if your school has a guidance counselor, if they have various different programs, definitely stay after school. Take the time during study hall to come down and plan out your future. It only takes a minute of your day. If you can get on that phone and go on TikTok or do whatever, you can do that to build your pathway. And as far as college students, take advantage of every internship opportunity there is. I would say coming in your freshman year, build relationships with your professors. They're the ones that know people. They're the ones that know, like, former students, alumni that have jobs out there for you. So taking advantage of opportunities, especially in college, that's definitely going to be
and
a
the
great...
scholarships in college, too.
Oh, the scholarships
Yes.
in
Yeah.
college. I didn't take advantage of scholarships in college.
Either did I, but there's
but there's
we
there's
work
so
in the
many.
advancement world, so we know how many there are, and
Right.
Oftentimes it's a lot of the same students applying and receiving because they're the ones that know about it and they're eligible.
And taking advantage of it.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's great and that's good for them. But spreading out, the pool of candidates is always great.
Right.
So.
And back to high school students, if you are a first generation going to college, you can get help at your local community college, or sometimes they will come to your school to help you fill out that FAFSA form. It just takes the time for you to commit to get that help. Because, again, there are people there to help you, to help assist you.
You mentioned earlier that your husband and you are active in the community. What's that look like?
He is the CEO and founder of Friday is Tie Day. It's a male mentoring program.
Okay.
Yes, it's a male mentoring program. Melanie Burney actually did a story on him.
Melonie's an alum.
Alumni, yes.
You know Melanie.
Yeah. I'm telling the audience.
Oh, yes. Everybody should know Melanie.
Yes, and she was the advisor
like,
for
wait a
Lambda
minute,
Road
you know
chapter.
her.
Yes, love Mel. So he does that in the community, and as far as I do assist him, but at the same time, there are other needs for students even outside of school. So we are constantly helping out students that we know. We are constantly helping students that have graduated a long time ago, but at the same time, we're still helping no matter what. And I met him at Oakcrest. He was director of the Teen Center. So I met him in 2007.
That was your meet cute.
Yeah.
My what?
You never heard that?
No.
Have you never seen The Holiday?
I don't know what that is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Have you seen The Holiday?
Yes.
Yeah. So the meet cute is when two characters who are going to later be sweethearts find each other. So he gives the example of you're in a department store and you're in the pajama section, and a lovely lady picks up the top of the pajamas and you pick up the bottom of the pajamas, and there's your meet cute. There you go.
Okay.
Mic drop.
I'm just repeating what I've
Yes.
seen in the movies. This is not.
It sounds like every Hallmark movie that's out there on television.
Yes. Well, yeah. Let's not get started on those.
Yeah,
movies.
okay. Start crying.
What do you do to like chill out? So like you're very active, or is your community service and all the things that you do outside of school, is that very relaxing to you? Is that how you kind of find your peace, or is there like you like to hang out with a good book, go to the gym?
My kids.
I get it. Yeah.
My kids. I'm a dance mom.
Okay.
So there's really,
there's not a lot of time for you when you're a dance
It's
mom,
not
right?
a lot of downtime. When I do have that downtime, it's just me, myself, and I sitting on the couch and just
Zoning.
you just have to have yourself,
Yep.
time to myself. My kids know to go upstairs, just let mommy have time to herself. And honestly, it's maybe 45 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And here we are stealing some of it.
This is my downtime today.
This is my downtime,
So
Thank you for sharing your downtime
We're
with
going to do
us.
like a 2-hour interview now, right? Because it's downtime. Like,
Sorry, mommy is not available.
Keep going.
Yeah, she will not be available tonight.
No, but also in my downtime, I wouldn't say downtime. I do have an agent, so I do some things on the side.
Oh, so you're still doing the communication
I'm
stuff?
still doing the communications. I've done some commercials. I've done some voiceovers. So working for Applaud Talent right now. So that
Get
keeps
out.
me.
So we
Yes.
might hear
what are you
or
looking to
see
do?
you.
Like, what are you looking to do?
Well, I've done a National Hers commercial.
Oh.
My husband stole the spotlight.
What?
Yes, you'll see him on the billboard right here on Delsey Drive, and they put one.
That's amazing.
Well, I brought him. I got booked. They saw his picture on Facebook. They were like, "Oh, they look perfect. Have him come." And he has no representation.
Yeah.
I do. So anyway, brought him, and they were like, "Can you move to the side? Thanks." And yep.
Wait, does that mean that they took advantage of him because he doesn't have representation?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
he still
You
got
wouldn't let that happen,
No,
right?
he still got paid.
Okay, good. You're like,
and he was
listen.
represented through my agent.
I hope you got at least half of that.
She got
because-
chips.
Right? We did get a lot of chips.
Okay,
but
that's good.
But I did that. I did an Ocean Casino commercial. I did a couple voiceovers, and I did what was the last one? Hapro Savings Bank. So this is in the past 2 years. It just started I just needed something to do.
Oh,
on my
yeah.
own. Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
something else, right?
Something to
Squeeze-
do.
squeeze
Let's just do a commercial.
And do you go in studio? Do you have a home studio, or where are you recording?
My husband
this?
has everything in his
Of course
office.
he does.
He has everything in his office. Mike, so, and then I have an online, if you look on YouTube, I have a YouTube, station.
Well, you can advertise that, right? Can we advertise that?
I
on
don't
here?
see why not. Tell us the
Yeah,
name.
tell us how to find
It's
it.
called Inspired by Juju. So I do,
I like how she said that.
I do decor, holiday decor.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite holiday to decorate for?
Oh, Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas is a good one.
Inspired by Juju. Juju is my mom, Judy. So I always loved how she decorated our home growing up. My dad was like, oh, because he was the one that always bring things down. But
You have like a bin for
I'm
a
so
few
tired
bins
of
for every
dressing
house.
up for Arbor Day.
yeah. So that's another thing that I do on my free time is decorate. So not just for the holidays, I've done my outside decor as well. So
You have a lot of fun stuff. I'm glad also that you get to
you
keep
have
a little bit of that
you
communications
have to,
piece too.
right? You have to, and I owe a lot to my husband. He does push me
Yeah.
to do that. So
He allows you to feed that part of you.
Exactly.
Especially that creative part, because I think when you, study communications, there's a creative piece of you, and it's hard to hold on to that as you have
Right.
career and family and other demanding
Right.
things that take up your time. So to keep a piece of creativity in you is
I like
really
that.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And he sees, in that field of counseling, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It could be overwhelming at times. I can't lie to you about that. And a lot of the things that the students go through, it's tough.
Are we still doing the early rise thing? Just in life in general?
Oh yeah, early.
Okay, good.
I'm up at 4.
Okay, that's
you too.
I'm telling you,
I'm
there's
up at
something
4.
to be said about that the morning culture.
Okay, but what time are you people falling asleep? Aren't you
Oh,
exhausted?
I'm out by like 9. No. I'm actually about ready to go to sleep that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 10:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me.
Oh, so that's pretty late. That's
Yeah.
a good stretch of time. You're not
10:30.
sleeping much. Are you tired?
No.
Can I counsel you?
Yes, you can.
I'm sure you're getting enough sleep, Janine.
So what's next for Janine? We're not shopping
We're going to
yet.
see her on the billboard next.
I know, but I mean, there's got to be.
I hope so.
There's something bigger for you than. I mean, this is great. This is a great career. But what do you see coming up? Somebody like yourself that's in this leadership
coming
role.
down the-
That's,
I
It's coming
think
down
I
the
need
pike.
to do another self-assessment because
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'll be 44 next month, so getting close to retirement soon.
No.
No, but
Don't say that.
I'm right with you, Janine.
yeah, but no, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I wouldn't change that for the world, and I enjoy the balance of, my extracurricular activities in addition to being, a great mom and a wife. So.
Well, we can't wait. We're going to listen for your voice in the voiceovers. We're going to check out all the commercials that are playing now and look for you.
Oh, that'll be great.
Because we know we're going to see you.
And every time I eat a potato chip, I will think of you and your husband.
I will just think of her husband.
Hers chips.
He stole that opportunity from her.
He did. And he laughs about it, too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because I'm in there getting makeup done.
Yeah. Like, you kidding me? I just brought this guy for fun.
Yep.
We noticed we didn't invite him tonight, so that was good.
Oh, he would have stole the show.
Yeah.
And he's already been on many podcasts already. So
yeah, so we can't have him.
Nah.
He's a UDEL alum.
Yeah.
Great school, but, it's not Rowan.
Nope.
So.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, I enjoyed this. You guys are awesome.
Oh, thanks, Janine. So I wish that people could be here for the beginning of the shows and the end of the shows, because it's so fun once, the microphone goes off to just talk to everybody. And it was we were just chatting with Janine in the lobby and even learning so much more about her and,
there were so many things we didn't cover.
I know.
She shared them at post the show. It's like, Janine, where was that?
I know. We actually wish these could be longer, but for your sake and ours, we try to make them, really digestible for all of you. But
these are great because the guests, when they come on, sometimes post show, they start to walk down memory lane a little bit more in their head, and they start to remember those famous names. Like she was just reciting all of the professors and other people across campus that had an impact on her life.
And so many of them we also knew.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of neat when you can recall some, same people and different experiences and how they changed your world.
She's doing challenging work out there, so.
And she's changing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, molding so many young people because they're going through a lot. There's a lot going on, and she's got her own kids at home, and she's counseling
and let's be honest,
hundreds of high school kids.
Post show. You really loved her decor show on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. She did show us her YouTube channel. Her home is beautiful. She's doing excellent decorating work. And the production on the quality of the videos
really
is
solid.
Really great.
Really
I'm like,
solid.
how are we doing this? Tell me more.
Yeah.
But she still has her communications love. It's still there. I think she's going to wind up doing a lot more communication stuff.
That's what it sounds like. That's why I asked the question about like what's sort of in her future, because I mean, as much as the counseling side is there, she's got a lot. She's got a lot to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just glad that we can count her as one of our alumni. We can't wait to bring our next incredible alumni to you on the next episode of Beyond the Brown and Gold.
You've been listening to Beyond the Brown and Gold on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. You can find more episodes on your favorite podcasting platforms by searching for Beyond the Brown and Gold or Rowan Radio On Demand.